Okay, we've managed to get the compression up on the Suffolk to 110 from about 115, which is alright. That ain't too shabby. And we turn it over now. We don't have any of that horrible hissing. And she's nice and hard to turn over now, so I am pretty happy with that. What we done was we did make a card head gasket in the end, not one that went in between the fins here, but one that went on top of the small rin, if you remember it, the small rin on the head. So it's got a card gasket in there, and instantly the compression was much better, and you don't get any of that really horrible hissing. Okay, we've now got a throttle cable on the carburetor. Just need to, I don't know how, if it's possible to trim these down or anything. I suppose you'd have to resolder this little end on it. But for now I'm just going to leave it long and probably just wrap it around the base of the engine. And just have a little lever on here, just to pull the throttle open. But most of the time this engine's probably going to be on tick over anyway, so because it's not going to be driving anything, I shouldn't think. Okay, so that's the fuel tank after 3 coats, and we've also managed to get a 3rd coat on the shrouding. All is a pretty good matching paint colour now, so yeah, pretty pleased with how that's turning out. Really nothing else to do there now. The engine's down there. We've just been marking up for a sort of trolley like skid affair going on, and this is what we come up with now. So these are going to be the runners here, and then we're going to have this piece sitting in between there, so sitting between the 2 runners, and be screwed in there and glued, and then once that is in place, this will sit on top, and then the engine will sort of sit at that sort of angle on the trolley, so it should be fairly sturdy. I'll put some hook eyes on this end here, and also one on either side on this end, so we can peg it down, and then we might see about getting a small pulley, and maybe it can run a dynamo that I'm going to build up, a standalone dynamo that I can run off of any engine, just a small little Lucas dynamo from a Morris Minor or something. I've got plenty of those lying about, so we should use one of those and bolt it all onto a nice frame, build a box to put the regulator in, and have a little switchboard on it and that maybe, and a little voltmeter. Yeah, so that's the project that I'm going to have to start fairly soon, because I'm pretty low on things to run off of engines, and I need something like that to run off the Briggs ZZ, so I may as well make a standalone one that I could run from any engine with a pulley, which would be pretty good. But that's where we are at the moment. The little Suffolk has 115 psi now. I might have mentioned that already. So the compression's come right up, that's good. And the last thing to do is pretty much bolt it all together. Once we got this frame, I either finished building it, probably finish building it tomorrow, because I need the engine ready to be bolted on there really. So yeah, we'll paint that as well tomorrow. That shouldn't take long to dry. The spray paint, I love using spray paints. Much better than brush painting, if you ask me. I can get a really good finish with spray painting as well. Fairly alright with spray painting. I've sprayed a lot of things in the past. Yeah, so the finish on this looks really good. And of course, with the spray paint, dries in about 10 minutes. You can start handling it after then. Really let it harden over overnight, so that's what I'm going to do. So to stop handling these and leave them overnight to harden, and then once it's all together we can polish it up and go from there. But yeah, we're pretty much there now, not much further to go. Okay, here's a general first impression of what the skid for this Suffolk 2-stroke might actually look like when it's finished. We still got to paint it and finish screwing it all together and stuff, but it may look incredibly long, but the actual engine's cowling sits in the middle of the runners, so this should actually take up its full weight pretty well. Should stop it from falling over when you pull it and stuff, when you go to start it. So yeah, pretty pleased with how it's turning out now. We may actually even be able to give it a little run tomorrow, depending on how well this all goes together now. Okay, well, the skid has had a first coat of the wood treatment now, so that should be okay. We should be able to bolt those two bits on maybe later or tomorrow, and then when this paint has hardened overnight we can get the cowling bolted in and go from there. Then she'll be very nearly ready to go. All we'd need then was a petrol filler cap. Not bad. Well, the Suffolk is looking very much so nearly complete, and it's looking really good. I'm really pleased with how it's turning out. Got the fuel tank on there now. Put a little piece of padding in between just to stop the bracket from actually rubbing against the tank, so if I want to reposition it I can. I haven't got a fuel tap on there just yet, that's something that I got to do. The carburetor isn't actually on there at the moment, but we still have good compression on the engine, and it's actually all bolted in there. It's only held in with two bolts there and there. That's all that holds the engine actually in the cowling. So quite a strange sort of way of mounting the engine, and decided to put it at the slight angle. On the mower deck it would have been at more of an angle than that, but yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it sitting at that angle. Managed to get the tank pretty much dead straight, even though I wasn't actually really lining it up or anything when I was tightening it up, but I managed to get it in there dead straight. So yeah, pretty pleased. Little things like this bolt here will need replacing at some point to make it look even better. I'd love to have managed to shine up this more and get some more of this off, but I even wire-walled that and everything, and that was the best I can get it to come up. Same with the pull starter unit on the front. I could probably swap that with another one that's been behind a pull starter, so it might be a bit better condition. but the shaft at the back is just sitting there ready for a pulley or something to go on it. Probably get a small pulley and then we can go from there. Maybe use, like I said earlier on, maybe have a little dynamo hooked up ready for this perhaps. Maybe something like that. Anyway, we're just gonna see about getting the carb in position now and see about sorting out a petrol tap, and then we just need something for a petrol filler cap. If I have to remove one from one of my dad's old display cans I will, but I won't paint it. Our aim to buy a cheap can with the same lid on top, and then once I found one that hasn't been robbed off of something of my dad's, I can paint that to match. But for now, it's looking pretty good. Okay, just putting in the finishing touches now. I've got the carburetor on. Hopefully the petrol pipe will be alright like this. This is the nicest way I could sort of get it to look, really, basically. Hopefully petrol should flow okay. Failing that, I could get a 90-degree bend tap where the output comes out at an angle. That'll give me a bit more height for the petrol line, and it could be a bit shorter then as well, because it needs to be a bit longer to go around these bends without completely crushing over, stopping fuel getting through. So at the moment it's just at the right length. So hopefully it'll be okay. The throttle cable we're going to have run around here and then exit around over here, where then hopefully we can have a throttle lever there, or I could put it over here, but this side is probably going to be the side where it is because of the way it's mounted there. Got the ignition lead exiting over here, so there's a lot of leads and lines and stuff over this side, and not much I can really do about that because it's where they all exit from. But it's pretty much finished now. Just need to put a few finishing touches on the skid, and well, that'll be it really. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how this is turning out now. Everything seems to be working fine on the carburetor, and maybe we might even get it to fire up tomorrow if it stops raining. It is raining at the moment, and I should imagine it's going to coat all this side in oil and crap, so not much I can really do about that, apart from maybe try and turn the exhaust around and have it exiting more there. Could try that, I suppose, if I can get a big enough spanner on that nut in there. Yeah, we'll give that a go. Well, there you go. The Suffolk is pretty much done now. We've got the hook eyes on the ends to peg it down, stop it jumping about. We have no idea what it actually runs like on a little stand. And yeah, well, there you go. That's the finished Suffolk. I'll put some pictures of it now.